Hello, this is Cityscape, a regular vodcast featuring people, places, and ideas that impact Livonia. I'm Dan West with the Livonia Chamber of Commerce. The biggest thing many of us are discussing these days are the COVID-19 vaccinations, as thousands of Livonians have been vaccinated in recent weeks. Today we have a chance to get some expert advice from the Chief Medical Officer of St. Mary Mercy Hospital. Today we welcome Dr. Matt Griffin. Dr. Griffin, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
So, tell us what's going on this week at St. Mary Mercy reference to distribution of vaccines.
We continue to be very busy. We have all 3 vaccines now, and so we're using them in different ways. But we're very diligent about providing the second dose vaccine as promised. We're still doing some first dose vaccine, and we're looking at how we're going to bring some of these doses to perhaps some colleagues that were reluctant around on the first round. So far, so good.
What advice do you give to anyone coming in before or after they get their vaccination shot?
Yeah, the things that seem to help the most with the very relatively minimal side effects are be well hydrated, right? Get some rest. You might feel some fatigue, and some people will feel a little bit of discomfort at the injection site. For the most part, that's been the range of the side effects that we see.
Are there any health conditions that people should discuss with their doctor before getting their vaccination?
Yeah, I think that it's important. If you have any serious health issues right now, if you have cancer of any kind, or you're under any significant medical treatment, discuss this with your provider first. We have found out fairly recently that the vaccines are safe in pregnancy. So that's a category now that we're encouraging pregnant patients to get the vaccine. But if you have any doubt ever with this vaccine or any others, discuss it with your physician to make sure that it's safe to receive the vaccine.
At what point are you considered fully vaccinated?
So for these vaccines, it's 2 weeks after the final shot. So with Moderna and with Pfizer, you get 2 shots. So 2 weeks after that second shot, you're considered to be, you've reached the optimal immune state. It's 2 weeks after the Johnson & Johnson, but that's a single shot. So 2 weeks seems to be the magic number.
People have heard anecdotes about complications, which is going to happen with any kind of vaccination.
Sure.
How would you describe the experience giving a COVID shot as opposed to something more regularly accepted in recent years, such as the shingles or the flu shot?
Yeah, I think that the side effects are similar, right? We haven't seen severe side effects at a higher rate than those other vaccines. And in fact, it appears right now, the truth as we know it, is this appears to be a very safe vaccine. Side effects are typical, common, a little bit of injection site discomfort, sometimes some fatigue or other symptoms a day or so later. Some bigger symptoms or more noticeable symptoms after the second shot as compared to the first, but not severe and not bad. And so it has a nice safety profile. Look, to this point, it looks very good.
What is your opinion of the new Johnson & Johnson single-shot vaccination would just come to market? I know you've been regularly using the Moderna and the Pfizer one as well. Right. How do you compare the Johnson & Johnson to the other two?
Yeah, again, we have to be very careful not to compare them. Okay. All are acceptable. All of them are very effective vaccines. And the Johnson & Johnson provides some things that the others don't, right? A single shot, which is very attractive for certain types of patients or in certain types of circumstances. The profile appears similar. There are different numbers you hear about each, but you can't really compare them head to head. They were not tested in that way. Anybody would say all 3 of these vaccines are very effective vaccines. And so for this disease, get the first vaccine available to you as soon as you can get it.
What would you say to somebody who's apprehensive about getting any vaccination?
Yeah, and that is something that we deal with long before COVID, right? So the first question I always ask is, or I try to get to is, what's the source of that anxiety, right? And it can be as simple as they don't like shots, or it can be very complex, right? They have a fear that the government's doing things or putting chips in and things like that. So you have a wide range of responses. So first you have to know why they're reluctant. And then once you know why, you can address those things. And in this scenario with this vaccine, it's a pretty easy story to tell, right? The severity of COVID is devastating. It's not always bad, but when it's bad, it is devastating. And so compared to what we've seen thus far with the vaccine, far and away, being vaccinated and not getting COVID is absolutely worth the very, very minimal risk that we've seen so far.
Now, as hospitals, healthcare providers, and public health agencies get more vaccinations out, we're talking about 1.5 million, 2 million vaccinations a day nationally.
Right.
Do you see the apprehension coming down as people see consistency with delivering the vaccinations?
We do. And in fact, we had some of our colleagues tell us who are apprehensive, I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to see how it goes for others first. And so 2 things have happened. First and foremost, people who have received the Pfizer or the Moderna have done very well. Very minimal side effects. And now that we have a single shot Johnson, there were some people waiting for that type of vaccine. It's a slightly different type of vaccine, and it's 1 shot. Well, now we have all 3, and all 3 are safe. And so we are seeing people come back around now to get the vaccine. So it's been very effective, and I think it will continue to grow as far as acceptance and the perception of its true safety.
What would you say to somebody who has had COVID regarding the vaccination?
Yeah, what we see, and it depends a little bit on their age, but we are recommending at a certain point that you do get vaccinated if you've had COVID. Somewhere between 60 and 90 days at least, right? That's a little bit variable. For younger people, we see that the response to the vaccine, the side effects can be a little more robust, but it makes sense. Their immune system is better. Their immune system is stronger. We have seen in some people when they've had COVID, they also might feel those side effects, at a little bit higher level. They're still minimal. By comparison to the disease, the side effects are minimal.
So, well, Dr. Matt Griffin, we thank you for your time today and your expertise.
I appreciate being here. Thank you so much for having me.
That's all we have for Cityscape this time. We'll see you around next time.